Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am BJ Raymer with Glowing Jack's Carvings, and gonna be doing a really big beer. We're gonna be doing a really big bear, a black bear, out of this log. It's gonna be about this high. Whoa! It's gonna be about that high. Let's get going. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I want to do something different today. I wanted to, instead of just playing you a bunch of crappy music that you don't know where I'm pulling them from, and I'm having to do all this, trying to add in and all that jazz with the music and stuff, I just wanted to walk you through exactly what I'm doing. As you can tell on this bear, I put my lines on it, and this is just like a starting point for, for me or for anybody else that's going to be doing carvings. Put your lines on. Get your spray can, put your lines on the outside where you want to start off. I didn't do the typical on this bear. I'm taking my shirt off right here. It's getting warm. I didn't do the typical start with the head and do the V pattern with it. I wanted to get its body mapped out. This is like a 5'3" bear. As you can tell, I'm starting to wedge the head here, but I wanted to get its body kind of laid out first before I went in the head direction. And I still keep on modifying the head throughout the whole time on this video. But right here, I'm getting my ears punched in. I'm starting on the back, giving a little bit of a head on the back of it. Really just kind of working in everything, putting my lines down through on the sides of the bear, and then just getting the face worked in. And that's just kind of where I wanted to start on this. And as you can tell, it's like a lot of this it's just taking the time to go through it, getting your face mapped out, keep on punching in your lines. Right here, I'm just trying to get its face like pushed into that bear face. On this bear, I really wanted to give not like a total realistic look, but I wanted to go for something that had more bear features instead of a squared off head. I wanted to give that the slimmer head look and the broader shoulders. If you look at black bears, they are really different than what you really perceive them to look like. Their heads come up almost to a point, and then their shoulders broaden out. And that's where, like, the direction I just wanted to go with this bear. I wanted to give a little bit more of a realistic look, but not go too realistic to where it kind of, it just kind of plays with the look, I guess, of, in case I missed the mark. That'd be an easy way to put it. In case you missed the mark, you don't want to try too hard. And that's what I got my computer over there. I try to tell everybody, it's references. Have pictures of bears or whatever you're carving or whatever you're trying to do. Go ahead and draw it out. That way you get an idea of your proportions. And have pictures. That's the best tools you can get. Have pictures next to you as you're carving whatever animal or whatever object that you're doing for somebody. Just to look at something to find out. That's where the details come in, and that's where that extra little effort can maybe pay off at the end of your carving. All right, as you can tell, back onto the bear. I do a lot of drawing sometimes on my carvings. I have to stop and take a look like everybody does, and step back and see what I like and where it's going and where it may be heading to and where I may want it to head. Sometimes you get into a mode and you have to just step back, go get you something to drink, and take a look at it and be like, oh, I don't like this at all, and refigure it out. But I always try to leave a whole lot more wood there to mess with. You can always take off. It's hard to put back on, and that's a good thing to start off with. It's you leave as much wood there as you can. That way you can always come back and you can always take it away. But you start making big cuts and try and take away big sections. That's why I don't consider myself like real fluid yet, but I'm getting there. Real fluid as in, I know exactly what proportions to take off, and that just comes with time. I'm more of a shaver type carver. I like to take off small sections at a time and to slowly bring out the carving. But I'm getting there. All right, right here you're gonna see me do like a lot. I got my shirt back on. It started getting really cold out there. It started raining. You can see some snow trying to push in and rain push in every once in a while, but it started getting really cold this day. Started off around 50 and then went into I think by the time I got done, I think it was close to the 20s. Being out there and the wind started blowing, rain, it was getting miserable. But right here, I'm trying to work in. This bear's going to be holding a sign. And I'm trying to get his arms punched in to where they're, they're up, holding like a sign type. As you see me trying to do the little how its paws are going to do. I wish I had like a big mirror out there so I could mimic what I want the carving to look like on like the stances and stuff. Maybe I need to do that. That'd be a good tool. Just get a cheap mirror to look at.
Sorry about cutting it short last night. A storm blew in. I started at 50 degrees yesterday, started sweating. Then it started getting colder and colder. Rain moved in. It was getting awful. I wasn't liking it. And it was pushing inside my building. And now it's at a nice 19 degrees. Feels like 7. Woo. All right, let's get going. Let's get going. No need to talk about all this. Yeah.
All right, now that we got started back on this day, just started back off where I left off. Right now, just trying to get these legs punched in, get them worked out. Went ahead and put like a whole cut right in the middle where I'm going to be putting this, like half circle on the legs. I always think that bears have more legs than what they do. But if you look at some pictures, they don't have much of legs at all. They're like really short. They have more thigh. They're all thighage. Not much like, and like cankles. Thighage and cankles. That's what they got. And so it's like, make sure you look at those pictures because that can really fool you on what bears look like, especially down below. It's just awkward. It's weird doing bear legs. I don't think there's really a good way to do them. It's just pretty much keep slowly carving them out. I know you saw me put the X in there. There's a bunch of other carvers that do the X style, and that's just kind of give you a point of evenness, I guess, on both sides, the front and back, when you're putting that X in. But you still have to be careful when you do it because you can't do it square, if that makes sense, because if you make a true cut, you're going to be losing that definition and roundness of the legs. And I found that out before. If you're trying to do a true square cut on the legs, you're going to have to skinny them up because you've lost a lot of material to make them look good. And that's just what I'm trying to say. You don't want to take off too much too soon on the legs because you just don't know where you're going yet, especially at this time. I'm back at it, and as we're going here, pretty much starting up on the top. I've got my bottom kind of set in, and now here I'm just trying to really just like look at the face, get the ideals of where I want to go. I can pretty much tell that the head is like too big right now. The head is too big. There's too much material up here. At this point, I wasn't liking where my ears are. And sometimes when you don't like the way things look, exactly what I'm doing right here. Start your furring and start pushing in. Start going deeper into it. Start, removing material that way. I know I'm close. I just don't know how close I am until you just kind of know. And that's what I started doing here. And once I started laying in the furring and start pushing that material back, start pushing the cheekbones back, start getting that jawline worked in, that's when, like I was in my happy time because I could start seeing what I wanted to portray to everybody else. My bear was, to me, started to feel like it's coming together. And if you want to know what saw that is, that's MS-170. I got a steel dime tip R on it. Y'all have seen me talk about that before. But I moved over to that, something a little bit lighter, because I'm working not overhead, but a whole lot higher than usually I am working on this bear. I'm 5'3". This bear is 5'3", so, and it's on a pallet right here. A pallet? Yeah, it's on one of those right now, so it's a couple inches taller than me. But back at it. So pretty much I've got everything kind of laid out on this bear, where everything I want. And starting the furring process. And I did a little bit different furring process on this one. Usually I do like short strokes, kind of like in a push down, pull up type thingamaboober technique, I guess. And with that, it's kind of like I don't know. I just seem to like to really enjoy the longer strokes on this. Going with the short strokes, it just seems like it just wears you out a whole lot quicker. And it just, the longer strokes, it seemed to fit this bear. The style came together with it, and it was just a nicer look, I felt like, overall. Just going with the different pattern. Just, everybody does something different. As you can see here, I am starting to work on the head, starting to get it punched in a little bit more, starting to create that depth, create that the separation of everything. Getting its mouth worked in. I'm kind of pushing it on the sides there, pushing into the jawline and on the hairline around where the mouth would be, as bears open their mouths. Getting its nose kind of worked in. I draw in the center line there, and that's just to kind of keep everything symmetrical on both sides. I'm not going to lie, on my faces, I do switch off of my chainsaws and go to my power tools. Okay, that's just me. I think it's playing it safe. I feel like I get a better look of what I'm trying to make look. And I just enjoy it a little bit more because, I don't know, this is kind of like the personal touch of it. You're doing things solely with, the ideal of what you want it to look like. And I feel like you can get, I get at least a little bit of a better look. Because this bear's high up in the ground, off the ground, so even if I was working with chainsaws, it wouldn't be nice and pretty. It's just above my head. It's too tall, and I'm not on scaffolding. So the the die grinders, it comes in handy. Here, punching in the eyes, those are the Mampa tool bit sets. A lot of people ask me from those. And I always follow them up with my Dremel and eye cutter, and that is a saber-tooth eye cutter in the course, the green one. And I think doing this to the eyes after you use the Mampa eye cutters, I think it kind of gives it a whole lot better look. You're taking off those rough edges, you're taking off the sharp points, and you're starting to give the eye depth. You're giving it that feel around the eyes. And I just use that eye cutter for everything. As you can see right here, I'm putting in the nose, detailing around the mouth, getting it all worked in, getting its snout worked in, pushing in lines underneath the lip, just giving that extra layer of depth. And that's what carving is. That's how your carvings get better. You keep adding those depth layers and makes people believe what they're looking at. Right here, just throwing in some more lines on the top of that head, finishing it out. I am using my 8-inch Canon dime tip bar on the 170 on this one. That's Baby Yoda. But I usually grab it for something a little bit lighter, just to get closer up and personal with the detail. Getting its ears worked in, creating depth behind them, giving it, instead of the flat behind the head look, creating that slant. And as you can tell right here, I'm pulling out the Makita finger sander. I do like to follow up with it, towards the end. Little details that I don't want to pull out the saw, and I need to create some furring marks and things like that. But you have to be careful with it because it makes distinct lines until you get really good with it. And you don't want too big of a difference. Like I will do a lot of blending in with my sander and fire later on because you want to get rid of the differences between, your chainsaw, your using your Dremels, using your finger sander. You don't want them to all look the same. I save my feet and my claws. I always save them last. I'm not the best claw person, and I'm still working on that, trying to add more detail each time I do feet and claws and things like that. But I usually save them for last. Those are kind of like, let's just get these feet in and let's get these claws, halfway believable. And some people can really just tear them out and they look awesome. But it goes into how much time you want to spend on, just the claws alone. Because, truthfully, you can spend a lot of time on just making claws look good. And I try to just do my best on those, on making them look at least presentable, believable, and that they work, they fit the carving. All right, now here you can pretty much tell we're wrapping this bad boy up. We got everything laid in the way I want it to. Right now, giving it a nice burn, and I'll do this on pretty much all my carvings. Some I burn more than others, but I'm gonna go ahead and burn them just because I want to burn the edges. That way, one, it makes it easier for sanding. It's gonna make it a whole lot easier to sand. Yep, using my flap sander I just made in that other video. Makes it easier to sand, and also dries the outside of the wood a little bit better, easier for sanding. And yeah, that's just what I like to do. Some people don't like to sand, but I like to take the sharp edges off and give it more of a softer, natural look instead of just having such a protruding sharpness to the literal sharpness and like protruding sharpness to the carving. Here I'm just playing around. I'm not doing anything besides moving this big heavy bad boy, strapping him onto the dolly, and getting him inside. Just kind of showing all the work it takes just to get stuff moved around and done. These take a little bit of time, and I think people need to see it takes just a little bit of time and effort to move these big carvings around. Now we're moving on to my sign. This sign, the customer, they did want a sign, a bear holding a sign, so I still got to make my sign. Getting everything mapped out, getting my letters kind of worked in. I'm using my right now I was using my Dremel 4300 with the eye cutter bit to do my letters. I do them all freehand. I do like to spend more time in getting them measured out, but then I'll do everything freehand just to kind of give it a handmade look. Yeah, you did see me beating that 4300. It crapped out on me for some reason. I gotta take it apart, but I had to switch over to my trusty 4000 model, which it seems to keep going no matter what. I don't know if that helps anybody, but the 4300 I've had issues with. My old 4000 model that I've had for like 5 years is still going strong. I just changed out the brushes the other day, and now it's back at it. Big difference. So I will probably go get another 4000 model. All right, giving you some revolvers right there. Bear, everything's look good. Shaking my can. I'm like getting into mode here. Like this is, like I said, this is my happy time. Everything's coming together, and I'm getting ready to show you my favorite part of what I like to do with spray cans. And yeah, you'll see here in just a second. Here it comes. Boom! Right there. Fire. Yeah, I always spray my letters and then light them up afterwards. It just dries them, gets all the heaviness out of there. And I don't know, it just helps out, I feel like, versus just letting them dry. This spray paint, yes, I am using an aerosol can. And this is kind of one of my big secrets. I don't use Rust-Oleum. I don't use the Krylon or anything like that. The best black paint I found for carvings is from the DG, the dollar store, the Dollar General or whatever. But they have a black paint there. I think it's called By Miracle or something of that nature. And it works great. It soaks into it's so crappy. It soaks into the wood, and it just works. I don't know why it doesn't come out when you put stuff over top of it. It doesn't try to run. It burns off good. It doesn't stay tacky. Has a little bit of a sheen to it. It works awesome, and it's cheap. Just showing you what I'm doing. I am going to be blending in exactly like this right here. I was just trying to point out where I'm going to be blending in. But now I'm taking my flap sander and blending the snout and everything into the bear's face and getting that color there, but you don't want too much color, too much black. Sanding down everything. And just putting some coatings onto the signs. I really love this wood. And I'm going to tell you here, it's a rainbow poplar is what this is for these signs. And I get them from a local guy here, and they just come out beautiful. It's like the purple, they call it rainbow poplar because if I was using a clear, more purple would be showing, but I'm using the Cabot's Australian in natural. And it does put the the amber honey natural look of wood on everything, but it also makes that wood really pop, soaks in, and that purple vein that goes through these poplars down here in this area just really makes it look good. And I try to use that for signs if I can find it or have it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just coating the signs, getting a good coat on it, make sure everything's covered, soaks in real well. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I did go ahead and put a second coat on this, and also on the bear itself. And you may be thinking, well, you just painted it, why are you coating it with this? Well, with this paint that I use, it doesn't soak in. It doesn't act like a latex that is meant to, fully cover the surface. And this paint soaked in so much that I knew there was still more room for me to put something else over top of it to have something else soak in. So that's why I always usually try to go back over top of my blacks, because I don't like to go too heavy. Because if you got really up close and personal on this bear, you would see that it's not thick, because that's not what I want. Thickness causes chippage and you know, for paint to peel. I want this wood, I want the paints and the oils and everything not to lay on top, but to actually soak into the carving. I love this part. Yeah, I like this part. Just that honey color showing up on its face, really putting that distinct look.
Is it straight? Yeah. Well, that's it, folks. That is the kit and caboodle on this, I call life-size bear. I mean, black bears, they range from anywhere from 5 feet to 7 feet. So it just depends on full-grown males, on when they're standing on their back legs and all that jazz. But yeah, he's a big bear, ranging at about 5'3". I know you're excited to see it. It has been a code project. These cats are excited to see it. They're just staring off, waiting for me to just reveal this bear. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the video. And here is what we have to show for it. This beautiful black bear holding his sign. He is going to be an awesome greeter. He came out terrific. Came out terrific. Loving the facial expressions. Loving everything about this thing. Not too aggressive looking. Has, you know, just kind of like a normal bearish look. Lines came out good. Sign came out awesome. If you're wanting to know, and I probably already told you this over my oversound, that's the rainbow poplar. That's what this sign is made out of. That's why you get this purplish look to it. In case I didn't already mention that. But came out awesome. Came out awesome. I think they're gonna be thrilled with it. Gonna be thrilled with it. Yeah, I'm gonna say came out awesome. Sorry. No, I'm just taking you everywhere with this camera right now. But just wanted to show off the work. Back of the head came in good. I really like that. This is one of the better heads, because sometimes you can get them flat and you don't want to go too flat. You gotta have some roundness there to the back of that head. Anyways, well, I hope you enjoyed this video of me making the black bear. I mean, he is taller than me. That's not saying much. I'm 5'3". But yeah, came out great. Came out great. Excited to make it. It was awesome. It was cold. Still cold. Very cold. I'm ready for this. If it's gonna be cold, that might as well snow, but it's not snowing. Anyways, hopefully you liked it. If you have any comments, throw them down below. Go ahead and give me a like on this video if you liked it. You know, you may not have, but please do if you did. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. We've got more things coming out. Gonna be doing a live feed here soon if I haven't done it yet already. Anyways, hope you liked it. Hopefully you learned something. Yeah, give me some feedback. Did you like the over voice section versus just the music? You know, which one was a little bit better for you? Me explaining or just me shutting up and watching me carve? You know, just trying to help myself out. That way I learn a little bit as well. All right, well, y'all have a great day. Everybody be nice to everybody. And yeah, let's cut this one off. I think let's end it on a good note. Mustache is on point today. Yeah, it is. Get the lines coming in. Going for a little bit longer look for that winter. All right, talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good day. Bye.